Have you ever looked down at your hands and felt like they belonged to someone much older than you? Maybe your face still looks youthful. Maybe people compliment your smile or your haircut. But then you notice the thin skin across the back of your hands, the dark spots that seem to appear overnight, the tiny wrinkles around your fingers, and the veins that suddenly look much more noticeable than they did just a few years ago. For many adults over 60, their hands become the first place where aging seems impossible to hide. Most people assume this is simply what happens with age. That once your hands begin looking old, there's nothing you can do except spend hundreds of dollars on expensive creams or cosmetic treatments that promise miracles but rarely deliver lasting results. But what if that belief isn't completely true? What if the appearance of your hands is influenced by something that happens every single night while you're asleep? And what if a simple bedtime routine using a few affordable ingredients that have been studied for years could help support your skin's natural overnight repair process? That's exactly what we're going to explore today. I'm Dr. James Carter, and for more than 3 decades, I've worked with older adults, helping them better understand how the body changes after 60, and more importantly, what practical habits can still make a meaningful difference. Today's discussion isn't about chasing youth. It's about understanding how your skin functions, why your hands often age faster than the rest of your body, and what science tells us about supporting healthier-looking skin without spending a fortune. Stay with me until the end because I'll walk you through a complete nighttime routine that takes only a few minutes before bed, along with 3 inexpensive ingredients that many people overlook simply because they aren't heavily advertised. Before we talk about those ingredients, we first need to understand why your hands change so dramatically after the age of 60. Your hands work harder than almost any other part of your body. They open doors, prepare meals, wash dishes, garden, carry groceries, drive, type, clean. They are exposed to sunlight almost every day, even during short trips outside. They come into contact with soap, hot water, cleaning products, alcohol-based sanitizers, and changing weather conditions far more often than the skin on your face. Yet think about your daily routine for a moment. Many people carefully cleanse their face every evening. They apply moisturizer. Sometimes they use serums. Some even invest in expensive anti-aging products. But when bedtime comes, the hands receive almost no attention at all. They're washed one last time, and then forgotten. Over months and years, those small daily habits begin to add up. As we grow older, our skin naturally produces less collagen, less elastin, and fewer protective oils. The skin also becomes thinner and loses its ability to retain moisture as efficiently as it once did. This doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process that quietly accelerates decade after decade. By the time many people reach their 60s or 70s, the hands have already experienced decades of sunlight, thousands of washes with soap, and countless hours of exposure to dry air and environmental stress. The result is skin that feels rougher, looks thinner, and often develops uneven pigmentation. Many people think these changes are purely cosmetic, but they actually reflect several biological changes happening beneath the surface. The encouraging news is that your skin never completely stops repairing itself. Even later in life, your body continues performing maintenance every single night while you sleep. The question is whether we're giving it the support it needs during that process. And that's where tonight's conversation becomes especially interesting, because once you understand how nighttime skin repair works, many common skincare habits suddenly begin to make much more sense. In the next section, I'll explain what actually happens inside your skin after you fall asleep and why one retired teacher completely changed her nightly routine after learning this simple concept. Several years ago, I met a woman I'll call Evelyn Brooks. Evelyn was 69 years old and had recently retired after spending more than 40 years teaching elementary school. She took wonderful care of herself. She stayed active. She walked every morning. She ate plenty of vegetables. She never smoked. Yet there was one thing that constantly bothered her. Whenever someone complimented how young she looked, she would quietly hide her hands behind her purse or fold them into her lap. She told me, "Dr. Carter, my face doesn't bother me nearly as much as my hands do. Every time I look at them, I feel like they've aged 20 years ahead of the rest of me." She had tried expensive hand creams recommended by department stores, luxury lotions, rich body butters, even professional spa treatments. Some products made her skin feel softer for a day or two, but none seemed to create lasting improvement. So I asked her a question that caught her completely off guard. What do you normally put on your hands before you go to sleep? She paused for a moment. Then she smiled and admitted, honestly, nothing. That answer is far more common than most people realize. Many older adults spend years trying to repair damage during the daytime when their hands continue facing sunlight, frequent washing, and environmental stress. Very few think about what happens after they turn off the lights each evening. During sleep, your body shifts priorities. Instead of focusing on movement, digestion, or responding to the outside world, it directs more energy toward maintenance and repair. Your skin is part of that process. Think of your skin like the roof protecting a house. When the roof is strong, it keeps moisture inside and harmful elements outside. But as the roofing materials wear down over time, tiny cracks begin to appear. Rain slowly leaks through. Heat escapes. The entire structure becomes more vulnerable. Your skin works in much the same way. Its outer protective barrier helps hold water inside while defending against environmental irritation. As we age, that barrier gradually becomes less efficient. Natural oils decline. Cell turnover slows. Collagen production decreases. Moisture escapes more easily than before. The back of the hands is especially vulnerable because it contains relatively little natural cushioning compared with many other areas of the body. Years of sunlight also leave behind oxidative stress, which contributes to uneven pigmentation and the appearance of age spots. None of these changes happen because your body has stopped working. They happen because the balance between damage and repair slowly shifts over time. Fortunately, repair never disappears completely. Research has shown that several restorative processes become more active during normal sleep. Skin hydration tends to improve. Barrier recovery continues. New skin cells gradually replace older ones. While no overnight routine can erase decades of aging, supporting these natural processes may help the skin look healthier, smoother, and more resilient over time. When Evelyn understood this idea, she stopped searching for miracle creams. Instead, she became interested in creating a consistent bedtime habit that worked with her body's natural repair cycle rather than against it. Over the following weeks, she noticed something encouraging. Her hands didn't suddenly look 20 years younger, but they gradually felt less dry. The rough texture softened. Fine lines became less noticeable. Friends began commenting that her hands looked healthier without knowing she had changed anything. The biggest lesson wasn't that she had discovered a miracle product. It was that consistency often matters more than cost. And before we talk about the simple nighttime routine she followed, there's something important you need to know. Many people unknowingly damage their skin every single day through two very common habits. Unless those habits change, even the best skincare routine may struggle to deliver the results you're hoping for. Let's start with the first mistake, because almost everyone watching this video has probably done it today. Let's begin with the first mistake, because chances are you've already done it today without giving it a second thought. It seems harmless. In fact, most people believe it's part of good hygiene. I'm talking about washing your hands with very hot water and harsh soap, especially in the evening before bed. Clean hands are important, of course. I'm certainly not suggesting otherwise. The problem isn't cleanliness. The problem is how we clean our hands. Imagine that your skin is protected by an invisible waterproof jacket. Every time you wash your hands, that jacket becomes a little thinner. When you're younger, your body replaces that protective layer fairly quickly. But after the age of 60, rebuilding that barrier takes much longer. If you're repeatedly stripping it away with hot water and aggressive cleansers, your skin may never fully recover before the cycle begins again. That's one reason many older adults say, "My hands feel dry no matter how much lotion I use." The lotion isn't necessarily the problem. It's that the barrier meant to hold moisture inside has already been weakened. Hot water accelerates this process. While it feels relaxing, especially during colder months, it dissolves more of the skin's natural oils than lukewarm water does. Those oils aren't dirt. They're part of your body's own protective system. Likewise, many traditional soaps are formulated to remove grease effectively. Unfortunately, your skin's protective lipids are removed along with it. After years of repeating this pattern several times a day, the skin gradually loses flexibility. Fine lines become more visible. Dry patches linger longer. Tiny cracks begin appearing around the knuckles. Instead of thinking, "I need a stronger moisturizer," it may be more helpful to ask, Am I protecting my skin before I try to repair it? One simple adjustment can make a noticeable difference. Use lukewarm water whenever possible. Choose a gentle cleanser designed to support the skin barrier rather than aggressively removing oils. After drying your hands, avoid rubbing the towel vigorously. Instead, gently pat them dry. Leaving a small amount of moisture on the skin before applying moisturizer can actually help improve hydration. Now let's talk about another habit that's become incredibly common over the past several years: alcohol-based hand sanitizer. These products play an important role in situations where soap and water aren't available. However, some people have developed the habit of using sanitizer dozens of times throughout the day, even when washing with gentle soap would be just as practical. Alcohol evaporates quickly. Unfortunately, while it evaporates, it also removes moisture from the skin's surface. Repeated exposure can leave the hands feeling tight, rough, and irritated. If your lifestyle requires frequent sanitizer use, don't panic. You don't have to avoid it completely. Instead, think about rebuilding what you've just removed. Whenever practical, follow sanitizer with a lightweight moisturizer or barrier-supporting lotion. Even a thin layer can help reduce some of the drying effects over time. Once these two daily habits are under control, your skin is finally in a much better position to benefit from a nighttime routine. And this brings us to the first ingredient. Ironically, it's also one of the least expensive. Many people overlook it because it doesn't come in elegant packaging or promise dramatic transformations. It's simply called glycerin. Despite its simplicity, glycerin has remained a favorite ingredient among dermatologists for decades. Here's why. Glycerin belongs to a group of ingredients called humectants. Think of a humectant as a tiny magnet for water. Rather than simply sitting on top of the skin, it attracts moisture and helps hold it where your skin needs it most. Picture a dry sponge placed under gentle rainfall. Instead of allowing every drop to run away, the sponge gradually absorbs and stores moisture. That's similar to what glycerin helps your skin do. As skin ages, retaining water becomes increasingly difficult. Even when plenty of moisture is available, older skin often struggles to keep it in place. Glycerin helps improve that process. One reason I appreciate glycerin is because it doesn't rely on being fashionable. It has quietly remained effective while countless trendy skincare products have appeared and disappeared. Consistency often beats complexity. If you decide to include glycerin in your evening routine, simplicity is best. After gently cleansing and drying your hands, apply a few small drops across the backs of both hands. Massage gently until the skin feels lightly hydrated but not sticky. Don't rush to apply the next product immediately. Give glycerin a minute or two to settle. Allow it time to begin attracting moisture before layering anything over it. That small amount of patience may help each layer work more effectively. Some people stop here and wonder why their results plateau. That's because hydration is only one part of healthy-looking skin. Our next ingredient focuses on something entirely different. It helps address the effects of years of environmental exposure, particularly damage caused by sunlight. And understanding that difference is what makes the routine much more complete. Before we move to the final ingredient, let's talk about something many people notice first when they look at the backs of their hands: the discoloration. Those small brown patches, often called age spots, uneven skin tone, areas that seem darker than the surrounding skin. Many people assume these marks appear overnight. In reality, they've usually been developing slowly over many years. Every walk outside, every afternoon spent gardening, every drive with sunlight coming through the driver's side window, every vacation without sunscreen, the effects gradually accumulate. Your skin has an incredible ability to protect itself from ultraviolet light. One of the ways it does this is by producing melanin, the pigment responsible for skin color. Over time, however, that protective response can become uneven. Instead of creating a perfectly balanced skin tone, certain areas begin producing more pigment than others. That's when those familiar spots begin appearing. While no topical product can erase years of sun exposure overnight, certain ingredients may help support healthier-looking skin while reducing the appearance of uneven pigmentation over time. One of the best known is vitamin E. Vitamin E is valued primarily because of its antioxidant properties. Think of antioxidants as part of your body's maintenance crew. Every day, your skin encounters tiny amounts of oxidative stress caused by sunlight, pollution, and normal metabolism. Over time, those small stresses accumulate. Antioxidants help neutralize some of that damage before it contributes to further aging. When applied consistently as part of a balanced skincare routine, vitamin E may also help support the skin barrier while improving overall softness. It's not a miracle, and it doesn't work instantly, but gradual improvement is exactly what healthy aging is about. If you choose to use vitamin E, apply it after the glycerin has had a chance to settle. A small amount is usually sufficient. Massage it gently across the backs of the hands, paying particular attention to areas that tend to feel dry or appear uneven in tone. Slow circular movements also encourage you to spend a little more time caring for your hands instead of rushing through the routine. At this point, your skin has received hydration from glycerin and antioxidant support from vitamin E. Most people would assume the routine is complete. But there's one final step that ties everything together. In my experience, this is often the ingredient people become most curious about after learning how it works. Rosehip oil. Unlike many trendy skincare oils that come and go, rosehip oil has attracted attention because of its naturally occurring fatty acids and plant compounds that support the skin's appearance. Think of your evening routine as building a house. Glycerin helps bring moisture into the structure. Vitamin E helps protect what's already there. Rosehip oil acts like the finishing layer that helps seal everything together while supporting the skin's natural renewal process overnight. It's lightweight compared with many heavier oils, making it comfortable for overnight use without leaving an excessively greasy feeling for most people. It also spreads easily, so only a few drops are typically needed. After applying vitamin E, place several drops of rosehip oil onto the backs of your hands. Massage slowly from your wrists toward your fingertips. Don't forget the knuckles, the spaces between your fingers, and the sides of your thumbs. These are areas people often overlook, yet they're constantly exposed to movement and friction throughout the day. Take about 2 minutes to perform this massage, not because the massage itself is magical, but because slowing down allows the products to spread evenly while encouraging gentle circulation. Some viewers ask me whether wearing cotton gloves overnight is worthwhile. For people whose hands become extremely dry during colder seasons, the answer may be yes. Soft cotton gloves can help reduce friction against bedding while allowing skincare products to remain in closer contact with the skin throughout the night. They're inexpensive, reusable, and surprisingly comfortable once you get used to them. However, they're optional. The routine can still be effective without them. What matters most is consistency. Doing this once every few weeks is unlikely to create noticeable changes. Doing it night after night is where gradual improvement begins to appear. Now you understand the 3 ingredients, but knowing what to use is only half the story. The order, timing, and consistency all matter. In the next part, I'll show you the complete bedtime routine from beginning to end, explain why each step is arranged in that specific sequence, and share how Evelyn's hands changed after following this routine for several weeks. By now, you know that healthy-looking hands aren't the result of a miracle cream. They're the result of supporting your skin in the right way, at the right time, and doing it consistently. The question I hear most often is, Dr. Carter, if I only have 5 minutes before bed, what exactly should I do? So let me walk you through a simple routine that is realistic enough to become a lifelong habit. The first step actually begins before you reach for any skincare product. Take a moment to wash your hands using lukewarm, not hot water and a gentle cleanser. There's no need to scrub aggressively. Your goal isn't to strip your skin completely clean. It's simply to remove the dirt, sunscreen, or residue collected throughout the day while preserving as much of your skin's natural protective barrier as possible. Once your hands are clean, gently pat them dry with a soft towel. Notice I said pat, not rub. Older skin becomes increasingly delicate. The friction from vigorous towel drying may seem insignificant, but repeated every day over many years, it can contribute to unnecessary irritation. Your hands should feel dry on the surface while still holding a small amount of natural moisture. That's the perfect time to begin your evening routine. Start with glycerin. A few drops are usually all you need. Spread it slowly across the backs of your hands, between your fingers, and around your knuckles. Many people forget the sides of their fingers, yet those areas often become some of the driest parts of the hand. Allow the glycerin a minute or 2 to settle. There's no need to rush. During those 2 minutes, take a slow breath. Stretch your fingers. Relax your shoulders. One of the wonderful things about an evening routine is that it can care for more than just your skin. It can also become a signal to your brain that the day is ending and it's time to slow down. Next comes vitamin E. Use only a small amount and massage it gently into the skin using circular motions. Don't think of this as simply applying skincare. Think of it as improving awareness of your hands. Many of us spend decades asking our hands to work hard every day without ever thanking them with a few minutes of care. Finally, apply several drops of rosehip oil. Use long, gentle strokes from your wrists toward your fingertips. Pay attention to the joints of your fingers, where movement and dryness often combine to make wrinkles more noticeable. Continue massaging for another minute or two. The massage itself isn't about forcing products deeper into the skin. Rather, it encourages even distribution while creating a calming bedtime ritual that many people genuinely begin looking forward to. If your hands tend to become extremely dry during winter, or if you frequently wake up with cracked skin around your knuckles, you may choose to wear lightweight cotton gloves overnight. They aren't essential, but by reducing friction against your sheets and helping products remain in contact with your skin longer, they can be a helpful addition for some people. Now comes one of the most important questions. How long before you notice a difference? This is where realistic expectations matter. Healthy skin changes gradually. During the first week, many people notice that their hands simply feel more comfortable. The tight, dry feeling that often appears after washing becomes less noticeable. By the second or third week, the skin may begin feeling smoother. Fine lines caused primarily by dehydration often become less visible because the skin is holding moisture more effectively. After several weeks of consistent care, many people report that the overall texture of their hands appears healthier and more even. Family members may not immediately notice what changed. Instead, they simply say, "Your hands look nice." That's often how meaningful improvement happens. Quietly, naturally, without dramatic overnight transformations. When Evelyn returned for her follow-up visit, she smiled before she even sat down. She held out both hands and laughed. "I still have 69-year-old hands," she said, "but they finally look like they've been cared for." I thought that was a beautiful way to describe it, because the goal was never to erase her age. The goal was to help her hands reflect the same care and attention she had spent years giving the rest of her health. And before we finish today, there's one more piece of the puzzle that many skincare conversations completely ignore. What you do during the day may be just as important as what you apply before bed. We've spent a lot of time talking about what happens at night, but healthy skin is built over 24 hours, not just while you sleep. If you spend 10 minutes caring for your hands before bed, but expose them to unnecessary damage every day, progress becomes much slower. One of the simplest habits you can develop is wearing sunscreen on the backs of your hands whenever you're spending time outdoors. Many people carefully protect their face while completely forgetting their hands. Yet your hands receive sunlight almost every day, while driving, walking, gardening, shopping, or simply sitting near a window. Ultraviolet light doesn't always cause an immediate sunburn. Instead, it quietly contributes to collagen breakdown and uneven pigmentation over many years. A broad-spectrum sunscreen with an SPF of at least 30 can become one of the most valuable anti-aging habits for your hands. Nutrition also deserves attention. Your skin is constantly renewing itself, and that process requires building materials. Eating enough protein supports the body's ability to produce collagen and maintain healthy tissues. Colorful fruits and vegetables provide antioxidants that help protect skin cells from everyday oxidative stress. Healthy fats from foods like salmon, walnuts, flaxseed, and olive oil contribute to maintaining a stronger skin barrier. And don't underestimate hydration. Drinking enough water won't magically eliminate wrinkles, but dehydration can make fine lines appear more noticeable and leave the skin looking dull. Sleep itself may be the most underrated skincare habit of all. Your body performs much of its repair work while you rest. Poor sleep doesn't just affect energy levels. Over time, it can influence inflammation, hormone balance, and the appearance of your skin. Think of your evening routine as one piece of a much larger picture. Gentle cleansing, consistent hydration, consistent sun protection, balanced nutrition, quality sleep. None of these habits are dramatic on their own, but together, they create an environment where your skin has the best opportunity to maintain its strength and resilience. Before we finish, I'd like you to remember something important. Aging isn't a problem that needs to be hidden. It's evidence of a life that has been lived. Your hands have held children, prepared meals, comforted loved ones, built careers, written letters, carried groceries, worked in gardens, driven thousands of miles. They've been with you through every chapter of your life. Those experiences deserve respect, not embarrassment. Taking care of your hands isn't about pretending you're 30 again. It's about giving your body the same kindness today that it has given you for decades. If there's one message I'd like you to remember after watching this video, it's this. Small habits practiced consistently almost always accomplish more than expensive products used occasionally. You don't need a cabinet full of luxury skincare. You don't need complicated routines that feel impossible to maintain. You simply need a few evidence-informed habits that fit naturally into your everyday life. I'd love to hear from you. How old are you, and what's the biggest change you've noticed in your hands over the years? Is it dryness? Age spots? Fine lines? Or perhaps you've already found something that has helped? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story may encourage someone else who is dealing with the same concerns. If you found today's discussion helpful, consider subscribing to the channel. Every week, I share practical, science-informed strategies to help adults over 60 protect their health, maintain their independence, and enjoy a better quality of life without unnecessary complexity. Until next time, I'm Dr. James Carter. Remember, growing older is inevitable. Growing wiser about how you care for your body is a choice. And sometimes, the smallest daily habits become the ones that make the biggest difference years from now.